What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our NBA 2K22 Road to the GOAT series. So now we're in the development league and we have a 30-6 record. So let's hop right into the game. First game here, we have the San Antonio Spurs versus the Detroit Pistons. And yes, I said the first game because this game got out of hand pretty quickly. My opponent was not that good. I went with the San Antonio Spurs and my opponent had the Detroit Pistons. The last time I played with the Spurs, they weren't that good for me, if I can remember. I think I played with them on 2K21 and that team couldn't shoot. Last year, 2K21, the two teams I probably hated the most was probably the Spurs and definitely the Pelicans. That Pelicans team, man, my God, they could not shoot for nothing. And I don't really plan on playing with them this year, but who knows? Maybe I have to play with them early on in the lower leagues so that way the competition is a little bit more easier and I can have a better chance of, or a better performance playing with them. So you can see here, halftime, 41-26. We're shooting 77%. So this go with the Spurs in 2K22, it's looking pretty good. I believe that is Derek White in the corner for a three ball, making the score 48-31. So we're shooting lights out. We've made 6 more three-pointers than him, and the defense is there. And this is where my opponent has called it quits. Had enough. So like I said, when you're in the lower leagues, I mean 5 is pretty good, but it's not the best. It's not the best competition. When we get into the Hall of Fame and greatest of all time, that's where it gets a little bit more challenging and I have to start like really trying hard, or like not necessarily really trying hard, but picking the teams I'm most comfortable with. And like I said, I did that in 2K21. Didn't work out too well, so I may go back to that strategy, or I may go back, or I may try a new strategy and just pick the best team in each of the tiers. So let's see the second game now. You can see the second game. I started the game up. I was looking for an opponent and my opponent backed out, I believe. And you know, if you dashboard, if you back out of the menus, you receive the win, excuse me. Or I should phrase that in a better way. My opponent dashboarded his game and I automatically got the win. When I went back to the main menu, they gave me another tier 3 victory. So moving on to tier 2, this is the main matchup here. We have the Memphis Grizzlies going up against the Atlanta Hawks, man. And this is going to be a video showcasing the best shooter you have never ever heard of. So you got guys like Steph Curry, Duncan Robinson, Joe Harris. We know those guys can shoot. Klay Thompson. But this is the best shooter you have never ever heard of. I didn't even know who this guy was. I just seen he was open and I just decided to shoot with him. And you're gonna find out his name pretty quickly in this game. So let's talk about this game here. I am the Memphis Grizzlies. My opponent is the Atlanta Hawks, playing with probably my favorite tier 2 team. This team is a deep shooting team, and I thought my opponent was gonna be focused on trying to shoot the ball more, but it turns out that he wasn't really focused on shooting with Trae Young and the other shooters on this team. So benefit to me because now I don't have to worry about that. Now his game plan was more so of like picking rolls, picking slips, getting the center quickly to the basket off that pick. But this is the shooter right here. I believe his name is Desmond Bane. I'm just gonna call him Bane because this guy can shoot the lights out. Another possession. I should have shot that one with him, but I didn't. So we're gonna work this ball around. It gets blocked. It goes to Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr., and we are able to get the layup there. So looking pretty good so far. That is Bane once more. The score is 11-2. First quarter, about to hit 2 minutes, and my opponent hasn't really done anything like that. This is his whole game plan right here. He's gonna try and force the ball to Clint Capella, and he was just doing that for the whole game. There's nothing wrong with it, but was kind of hard to stop at the beginning because I couldn't get a body up animation or a contact animation when Capella was rolling to the rim so fast, and led to a lot of easy buckets for him. But Ja Morant has my back, straight to the rim, making the score 13-4. But yeah, that was my opponent game plan and it worked pretty well. I would have to say it's pretty effective. Now, if he would have incorporated some other stuff in this, he definitely would have blown me out the waters. But we don't know how this game goes. It could be a close game where he wins, or it could be a close game where I win. But we just have to see. And all I know is that I have a pretty good shooter on this team in Desmond Bane. So 15-6, first quarter, almost done. Under 2 minutes, and we're just on a groove right now. The offense is looking good, the defense is looking good. My opponent hasn't really done a lot, and I'm okay with that. So now, working the ball around, Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to slam it down. My opponent had to do the little pause cheese. I guess he was pretty impressed with that dunk there, and I was too. Jaren Jackson, not a guy who gets a lot of press, but I think he has good potential, and I played with the Grizzlies like a lot in 2K20 or 2K19. So I kind of know this team. Well, the team basketball, their rosters evolve so quickly, man. Not necessarily evolve, because some teams roster, either fall off or they get better. So I can't really say evolve there. But end of the first quarter, 19-8. Like I said, we're looking pretty good here. And we haven't even seen our shooter yet. But I have to be careful on defense. This guy, he's running the same game plan. He wants to go to John Collins now. I don't know why he didn't take that with Trae Young, but John Collins is able to post me on that possession. So I still have in the back of my head that my opponent could easily run plays and just start shooting threes with this Atlanta Hawks team. So I just have to, be a little bit cautious not to overplay myself. So subs are in. Nice dunk there. And that's going to increase the lead, 21-10 now. So opponent back on offense. At this point, I'm bringing the starters back in. They got a little bit of rest. And so I said, I think it's time for them to come in. Don't know what we're doing on that possession. I always set the help defense to 0, the help defense slider to 0, and I also put on the setting of no help on drive help. Desmond Bane, wide open corner 3 ball. That's what, like his second or third 3 in this game. So like I said, you leave him open for a split second, he's like Duncan Robinson. He's gonna hit that wide open 3-pointer or even contest it, man. He has such a quick release. But the only thing I don't know about Bane is that his release point is kind of, it's kind of low. So it's going to be hard for you to get shots up contested because your opponent can easily block it. Say someone like a Kevin Durant versus if that was Duncan Robinson has that high release arc, and so he could probably get that over KD. But, it just all depends on the type of shot you take and what you do with the players you have on the team. So 26-14, make that 26-16. Clint Capella now is on fire and has his takeover. I don't know how, man, but I said in the video earlier, my opponent game plan, it was working. I'm only up by 10, but it doesn't feel like a secure lead. Payne again in the corner, left them wide open. Such a quick release, low trajectory, but it goes in most of the time, especially when you have that shot meter off. It is amazing. And after this game, I found out that he had a 91 3-point rating, so that's pretty impressive. That's up there with guys like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Joe Harris, Duncan Robinson. So he's one of the best shooters in this game so far. And I haven't really heard too much about him because he plays for the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies aren't going to get a lot of press right now. But if 2K has his 3-pointer rating that high, then pretty sure he could shoot the ball. So let's get back onto the game here. Mixture of subs and starters in this game. I'm backing him down with Triple J. He doesn't even know what to do, and we just take advantage of that. We take advantage of Lou Williams on that possession there, making the score 33-19. So my opponent is back on offense, not running any plays. This possession, he might force it with Clint Capella, but no, he goes back to his tried and true strategy. Pick and roll with Clint Capella or the center, and he forces it down low to him. You see, I don't know, I just couldn't make contact with the roller, and it was just leading to easy buckets. If someone wanted to abuse that, they definitely can, man. So back on offense for us. Slow it down, work the ball around. My opponent defense is not the best, so we could get a good shot if we take our time. Pump fake, I knew he was gonna jump, drive into the rim, goaltending. Nice layup there, and that is going to send us into halftime where the score is 35-21. So we're up by 14 points, shooting 76%, and we're looking pretty good so far. So let's get on to the second half now. My opponent doesn't have the great vision to find Bogdan Bogdanovic in the corner of the court, and he misses out on an opportunity for a three-pointer, but he redeems himself there, kicks it back out to him, and he is able to hit that three-pointer. So my opponent, if he starts doing stuff like that, because you can see on my defensive possessions, the computer AI is helping so hard, and I just don't know why, because like I said earlier in the video, I have them set to no help on drive help, and I have their help defense set to 0. So it doesn't make sense that, you know, they would keep helping. And maybe it's because I have the setting of ace to defense only, and that could be why, because I don't really like playing with ace on. I don't want the computer to make changes to my game plan. I just only want to make changes I want to make. And I've been looking at YouTube videos, and they said that you need to have, in order for your settings to work properly, you need to have at least one ace option off. So that's either offense and defense, only offense, or only defense, and I always choose only defense. But I never seen my settings get override so hard like this, and I think it's because that my opponent kept on doing the same thing. He affected my ace, and that's where those guys, they started collapsing when the roller started rolling to the basket, or he started driving to the basket with the ball handler, and that led to some wide open three-point shots for him. So enough rambling. Let's get back onto the game for like a fifth time. Bane again, wide open. Go ahead and extend that lead 43-28. We're looking pretty good so far. And I don't know how many threes Bane has hit, but that's probably like his 4th or 5th right now. He's just on a roll. And look, my opponent, once you get in that restricted area and you have a decent big, it's a high percent chance that you're going to score that basket. Again, I felt like I was in good position, but I don't get the right steal animation, and it led to another easy dunk for him. So at this point in the game, I don't really feel like the lead is secure, but you know, I just have to keep playing the game, keep going at our pace, and just keep doing what we've been doing. So end of the third quarter, and now we are moving on to the fourth, where the score is 45-32. So let's see what my opponent can do here. I'm a little bit nervous that he may change up the game plan and just go crazy with the threes. So I just have to watch out for that. But he's going right back to his original game plan, and that's just pounding the ball inside. And it's working right now, or it worked on that possession. So the Grizzlies have to step up on offense and defense, especially because we're just allowing way too many easy shots. And easy possession for Ja Morant there, helping us increase our lead after my opponent scored that bucket. But Trae Young comes right back down, and this is what I was worried about. 48-37. He hits a couple threes like that with Trae Young. This game could get ugly for me pretty quickly. So bad offensive possession for me. I'm able to get the rebound. So we're going to work it around to Ja Morant for 3. Not known as a shooter like that, but we get that basket to go. So now Triple J, come on and get in this action, because he is going to hit a 3 for us, and we're just blowing this game wide open now. I don't know why my opponent didn't really shoot like that, but you know, I can't control what he does, or I can't control who I play, and we just have to go out there and try and win the game. Finally, a wide open 3 for him, and he hits the shot. So this game is kind of out of hand though. No, but there's still time in this game for my opponent to make something happen. But, you know, the way I'm scoring on offense, and this guy named Bane, he's shooting, it's going to be tough for him. And at some point in the game, he started sending a double team for Bane and left Triple J wide open once more. Just this Grizzly team, if they're left wide open at 3-point line, Bane once more. Come on, you know this is knockdown. 91 3-point rating, shot meter off. It doesn't get any better than that, man. And that's another 3-pointer for Bane. My opponent is folding. Don't know how he missed that dunk. And we're back on offense again. I said, you know what? Let me try and get this ball back to Bane. I'm going to see how many 3-pointers I can hit with him. Left him wide open again. That's knockdown. This guy can shoot, man. The Grizzlies, they have a hidden star on their team, especially in playing online or in NBA 2K22. So look at this. If you play with the Grizzlies, you know you have at least one shooter on the team. So if nobody knows about Bane, you could get some stuff off. Look at that shot right there. Crazy. And we have 70 points and the game is not even over yet. So I said, okay, I gotta try and get more threes with Bane. Pick and fade. Another three-pointer for Bane. Green release. There's nothing my opponent can do, and that is going to be the end of the game. Player of the game, of course, has to be Desmond Bane, because that performance he put on in this game was ridiculous. 8 3-pointers made, man. Don't know how he did it. Well, he's a pretty good shooter, so fun playing with the Grizzlies. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.